I think, being at a world-class competition like badminton is so interesting and such a valuable experience. Just part of it is because it's been going on for so long. I think this was got to be close to like the 75th badminton last year. And obviously the historical aspect of not only the competition itself, but the Duke of Beaufort's big manor house right on the property, and just the cultural aspects there. And we stayed in this wonderful little community just outside Marlborough at the yard where Jackie Green trains out of. And the whole just being in a different part of the world, I haven't gotten to travel all that much. I've traveled a bit, but it was just fun to be able to go somewhere else. And then the quality of horses and riders at badminton, oh my God. Even at Rolex, it's the best of North America and a couple Europeans who come over for the competition. But at badminton, it's like the best in the world. It's, the best Great Britain riders, the best New Zealand riders, the best Australian riders, because there's so many different countries that train right in England. So it's not just the best North American riders, although that is getting to be a more and more competitive field. But it's, the best in the world, and it's world-class competition in that aspect. So just a little more intense than anything you've ever seen. It's definitely something I would love to have another crack at. I'm not sure that you could learn necessarily everything that there would be to know about by going and watching. But that being said, I did go to the Kentucky Horse Park the year before I rode at Rolex, and I think that made competing at Rolex so much easier. The fact that I knew the lay of the land, I kind of knew what to expect when I got there. You didn't have that first few hours of where am I, what am I supposed to be doing. I kind of drove in the horse park and was like, the office is there, the ring is there. I got on my horse the next day and kind of knew where to go. And I had a bit of an idea of the scope of the amount of people that were going to be there. I'm not sure how I would have felt about it if I'd just been thrown into it, but definitely being there as a spectator and not having my riding to focus on, I was completely wowed by the number of people. I think it's like 85,000 people on cross country day. It was insane. So obviously as a rider, you don't see the same parts of a horse show that you do as a spectator. At badminton, I don't really remember very much about the people or the atmosphere, because I was always just seeing everything from a rider's perspective, a rider's point of view. The stables are quite private. There's not a lot of room for people that aren't involved directly to be around you. And it's for a reason, to A, for security and safety, and B, to help the competitors stay focused. So, obviously, any eventer in their right mind who has the opportunity to go and watch badminton is going to go and watch badminton, and it's not going to do anything other than help them. But it's one of those things that, you're not going to get the full experience unless you're riding and competing, getting the full experience. My goal for this year with Port Authority is definitely to qualify and get selected for the Olympic Games. All of us have 6 months minus a couple days to get it all done to the opening ceremonies of the games, and I think about 5 months to the naming of the squad. And as horses prove to all of us over and over again, things are never quite ordinary or never quite to be expected. There's a bunch of us that are having the same goals for the year, and it's going to kind of be a little hairy for all of us. But my competition plan is going to be to compete at either the Jersey Fresh CCI 3-star in New Jersey in May, or the Bromont CCI 3-star in Quebec in June. My first plan is Jersey Fresh, and right now we're on track for that, which is very exciting. We should be doing an advanced level horse trial in March, probably at Poplar Place, and then potentially maybe the advanced or the CIC at the Fork, and then heading up to Jersey. So that's the plan. Right now we're just legging up, getting fit, spending a lot of time on the Aquatrad over at Kesmark, and just getting ready for the next few months. It's very exciting. And then I have a few other horses as well as Port Authority. He's obviously the focus, and certainly for the next 5-6 months, the priority and the focus. But in order to take a bit of the pressure off and also help support the Port Authority going to the Olympics thing, I have 2 very nice young 4-year-old thoroughbreds that are just learning their job as event horses. One of them belongs to me, another belongs to Jim and Susan Hill of De Winton, Alberta. Mr. and Mrs. Hill have race horses at Woodbine in Ontario and as well in Kentucky. And the horse that I have from them, True Bellamy, is just 4. He raced in November, I think. He raced like 7 times, was pretty successful. And he's coming along really well. He should be ready for a schooling show. There's actually one next week, February 8th, that he's going to go to. And mine, the Seahawk, is another thoroughbred who raced once, failed miserably. I rode him as a 2-year-old at the training track and sort of laid claim to him before he even went off to the track for training. And I love him. He's amazing. He makes me happy. He's definitely what I use to kind of take the pressure off of everything. I save him to be ridden last at the end of every day because he puts a smile on my face. He's just so good. And I have to thank Jeffrey Tucker and Jimmy and Meg Miranda for that opportunity. And then I have Vienna, a 9-year-old Dutch, half Dutch, half thoroughbred Canadian warm blood, who just did her first preliminary at Rocking Horse last weekend. She was excellent. Vienna came out of a dressage barn. I've had her since May of 2011, and she did her first novice event in July of 2011, followed by 4 training levels, and has done a few schooling shows at the preliminary level these last 2 months and made the official move up last weekend. So I'm very, very proud of her and very excited for her future. I do believe that she will be very, very cool.